welcome back. Today there's gonna be some Outriders being played, but we're gonna be discussing a more serious topic for Reverie Talks, and it's going to be about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. And I'm pretty sure you guys already seen it everywhere else. Them talking about the outcome, opinions on it, etc., the details, all that. I'm mostly going to be I'm gonna give you the background and everything just in case you don't really know the full thing, because everyone has been kind of cherry pick on both sides, cherry picking what they want to say, they don't want to say, etc. So I'm just gonna give the full, well, not the full rundown, but just the basic rundown. Like, alright, the important topics, like the important things you need to know. Then we're gonna get into like what this spells out for the future of just protests, any type of demonstration, and just how we move forward as not just the black community but also like the American nation. And maybe this could be something for the outside world. Not sure exactly how anyone outside of the country could use this, but seeing as how we're kind of like big on free speech and all that, and then this pops up, could be a different ways this could be taken. But let's just hop right into the video. So basically what transpired is that all this occurred during a protest following the shooting of Jacob Blake, who was shot in the back by a cop about a year back. And Kyle Rittenhouse was invited because he's originally not from Wisconsin, he's from Illinois. But he works like in Wisconsin because it was around the border, I believe, between the two states. And he was asked to protect private property, and I'm not sure if it was by a friend, a boss, or whoever, but it was someone he was close with, and they were in a group together patrolling the streets. But eventually, somehow he got separated from his group. So the altercation was between a Joseph Rosenbaum, Anthony Huber, and a Gage. I'm not gonna say the last name because I know I'm gonna mess it up. But what happened now is that after Kyle got separated from his crew, I'm not sure how they started talking or whatever, but he started getting chased by Rosenbaum and Huber. He shot Rosenbaum, and I believe that was the accident, but then Huber was intentionally. And then Gage came up now. Oh, sorry about that, I hit my mic. But Gage came up and he had his gun ready. But the only issue here is that when he saw Huber going to go take the gun away from him, he put his gun up and he put his hands up. But then as soon as he shot, like as Kyle shot Huber, he trained his gun down again at Kyle, and that's when he himself got shot, but he just went off with an injury. The other two sadly passed away. So now, in my opinion, that was the first, like, Gage came in after the first two. And to his thought, he thought that was an active shooter. So if he thought that was an active shooter, then which he was a shooter, but like just like he was the one who started the altercation or whatever, then he should not put his gun down for one. Well, he should have put his hands up for one, because now after that, if there's any doubt in his mind that he was the actual perpetrator, at that point should have just try and talk to him and just try and like, okay, put your gun down, let's talk about this. Because there's two people here that shot. Not sure if they died like right after, like probably like a couple minutes after, or if there was still time to, you know, get the medical aid. But whatever the case is, two people here are shot. Let's just stop this right now, calm down, and figure this shit out. But no, he immediately trains his gun again on him, which prompts him to get shot. And Gage was the key witness in the case for this. Like, he's the key witness for the he's the key witness for the prosecution. Now the issue with this was that when the defense started cross-examining him, he admitted that he put his gun back up, but then after he set his gun again on him, that was when he got shot. That's the issue, because now then they can argue self-defense, which at that point, if you're scared and someone puts their gun right back on you, they're like, that is cause of like, okay, this could definitely be self-defense, and it is at that point. Because why would you put your gun back down? Why? And he already has his gun pointed at someone else, finished shooting someone else, and it would take you longer to put your gun back on him. At that point, you lost. So you might as well just try and talk to him, because either way, even if you think you're gonna get shot, at least with your gun up or away, nah, you can say, well, boom. He was a threat to me. I tried talking to him, he didn't listen, then you could get him. But now that you put your gun back on him, like, there wasn't, I'm sure he was afraid. I get that, I'll give him that. But at the same time, if you're not trained to use a gun, and you're not ready for situations like this, you shouldn't have a gun. This is even on Kyle's side as well, because why was he even, why did he even get separated from his group? Why? And the simple fact that, yeah, why? He's a kid. Who just did not have any like accountability for him just because he has a gun? He that's just like, there's so many things wrong with this case that people aren't talking about enough, because what adult, and I'm sure he was there with adults, even though he has a gun, let a kid with a gun by himself walk around by himself and not try and find him immediately after? Because for all in the span for this shit to happen, not one person from his group was on scene. That's the one part where I've been trying to like figure out for the longest, but I can't get like a clear answer on them, which they probably did answer in the court case. Hopefully they answered in the court case, but y'all will tell me. Someone out there knows. Someone will tell me. So now another thing about this is that America is a very idealistic country, even in its making, because now the reason for this is just everything that we're built on, the foundations, like I said. Because what a lot of people think is like, oh, give all this power to cops, of course they're not going to do anything wrong, so we shouldn't worry about it, let them have all this power. Or, oh, let's give everybody guns, because at that point, who would mess with someone who has guns? Or why would anyone who has a gun even think about messing with people? Because they're such great people, they're going to use it to defend. No one should be scared of people having guns, etc, etc, etc. They just think that people would just do things and be nice. That's how a lot of the laws in this country were made. Because in Wisconsin, there's a law that literally states that if someone feels that they're in danger, just feeling that they're in danger, they're in the clear to use deadly force. So if you think that in every single case that's a responsible law to make because people are just have a moral high ground and there won't be any like exceptions to this rule, then you're just, no, that's not the case at all. This is the system that we have to work with in this country, sadly. And it's been like that for years. And that's why so many people are just disgruntled and just stressed about it. Even, sadly, it's even reaching to like teenagers of my generation, that because we have so much access to information now, it's like we can look back and be like, well shit, this has been such an issue for such a long time. Because, whew, it's not like the system is designed to really improve. It's just like whatever rules were made is just are meant to be upheld. Like there really isn't any like leeway except voting in your politician, like any politician you think is going to change the way things work, into office. But like as we all know, and that's a whole other thing we get into, it's just not that easy because they can always go back on their word. And because we don't have that much leeway to really get the things that we need, we just kind of have to deal with it. So this entire case is, I wasn't even surprised because it's just what the system is. Like, the judge isn't, listen, this is his job. That was just a job to him, okay? Even if he might have been biased, that is his job. His job is to interpret and then enact the law. And the jurors was to just stay within the law, because if not, they could get replaced. So either way, this was going to be the outcome, no matter how you saw it. Because unless a judge went to go above and beyond, his job is interpreting law, and like as the law dictates, he felt he was in danger, so he used deadly force. Case closed, not guilty. And I'm sorry to bring this up as well, but he's a white 18-year-old boy. And it's been proven that people who are like, who resemble you, you'll have more of a soft spot for them. And there was really no way for anything other than like what transpired to really like happen, because this is just how the system is made in this country. And it may not have been the right thing for like, you know, positive change, for tensions to, you know, get lowered. It may not have been the right thing to like now try and say that, alright, we don't want no more guns at these protests. But within this system, this is how justice is served, which is the sad part. It is truly the sad part, because now, going forward, what we got to expect at these protests now, there's gonna be more guns, more confrontation, which ultimately is gonna lead to, sadly, more deaths, definitely more injuries, and this is all just because of this case right here. That is all that is gonna like, this set a new, this pretty much, how do I say, this escalated how things are gonna go like happen and start like go on from this point forward. And I don't think it's going to be easy to try and like, no, of course not, it's going to be easy. Hell, it's going to be damn near impossible to try and lower down that bar. But in my opinion though, I feel like this all could have been avoided. Well, I don't know when to say avoided, but truthfully, with how the way things are going in terms of like how the media portrays things, because on one side now you have it where protests speaking out against the murder of men by authorities who have way too much power, and they're calling those riots. That's crazy. Then on the next end, you have the next side basically portraying one as just pure evil, not humane, no need to talk to them about anything, just shun them and belittle them always. Now I'm not saying that you gotta go easy on them, but what I am saying is that if you want people to be on your side, you can't belittle them, because the more you belittle someone, the least likely they're willing to listen to you. Like the very minimum thing for anything, and it sucks, but this is just how it works. There needs to be respect given, at the very least, respect given. Even if the other person doesn't respect you, at least you have that solid footing where you're not fighting in the mud with the pigs. You're not going down to their level. You're staying where you're at, because if you know you're right and you have the facts to back up that you're right, you need to go down there fighting in the mud. Like at that point, you're just dirtying yourself up, and you're getting into like, you're just putting yourself on their level. Don't do that. There's just no reason for it. I was gonna say case, but there's no reason for it. And my grandmother used to tell me this all the time when it came to dealing with people. Like, let them fight in the dirt, you just do you, and you make sure that you keep yourself clean. That metaphorically, keep yourself clean as in like, you know, if I'm right, I don't have to like stress myself or like call them out of their name and be like them. Because why would I want to be like them if I know I'm right? Like fuck how I like, even if I get mad, it's like if I let someone make me mad, then I already lost. Like fuck it, I already lost. And at that point, if I get angry, then I might as well just step back. Because if something makes you angry, then something in whatever that person said, like, now I need to figure out how to explain this next thing. It's not necessarily that you can't get angry, but now, if it's to the point where it makes you talk as if incoherently, you can't get your point across, and you're making the conversation, and it's like they're trying to make the conversation it's not, and you're following their leads. Like you're not in control anymore. That's what I mean. Yeah, if you're not in control anymore, then it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But let's go into the next part now. Like this next part, I did touch on it for a bit, but this is the important part though. Yeah, truth be told, none of this is supposed to be easy. Like this is something that you have to be patient about, and just expect a whole bunch of nonsense coming your way, ignorance, but in the face of all that, you have to stand strong. Because if you believe in something, believe what you're doing is right, then you have to be able to put your all into it and put your best foot forward. You know, all the other stuff, the smart people, all the morally righteous people say, like, you gotta do all that. Because then if you could do it and you set that example, then other people will follow heed to what you're doing. And that's all about, that's pretty much it, just setting that good example. I think that's probably one gripe I have about the organization, Black Lives Matter, not the movement, but the organization. Because the message, I support it, but it's just one of those cases where there's not like a good, it's not really good like, I don't say organization again, but the planning, how to keep people accountable so that shit, like, you know, shit doesn't transpire, how to help people handle themselves better, keeping each other accountable. I want to see more of that. I definitely want to see more of that, because I do see it, but just not enough, especially when it comes to the ignorant. Because one of my major gripes that I saw last year, and don't be mad at me for me saying it, but it has to be said, that majority of like the fucked up shit, like for example, for one of the George Floyd protests, I believe one of the first few, someone set fire to a building, and immediately people thought it was a black person, but no, it was white. I think it was a white guy or something. And at that, it wasn't. And my issue with that is, if anything bad happens and black people are just relating to it, then we automatically get blamed for it. Even though, and it's like, we have to make sure that we don't let people just fuck up progress we're trying to make, because then it's like, for every step we take forward, we're taking 2 steps back. And this is why I say, like, before we do anything, education for each other and like just the community has to come first. And this is what I'm hoping to achieve with like this little project right here. When I do like these bi-weekly talks for Reverie Talks, is at least drop whatever knowledge I know, hopefully learn something during me researching for these vids. Then you guys giving me feedback is just a loop of information now that we can share that can lead to more discussion. More discussion equals more knowledge, which leads to more discussion and more knowledge you see, it's just this is a loop that as long as that we keep going, we're all the better for it. We can act better in the future and be better because, like I said, America is highly idealistic. We can't afford to be idealistic. We need to work off of facts. We need to know exactly what we could lose for every step we take, and we need to really properly evaluate what we want and how we're gonna, like, what steps we're gonna take to get it. And it's not gonna work unless all of us work together. And me personally, I'm focusing majority on just helping the black community because, one, of course, I'm a part of it, but because I'm more like knowledgeable of it, I can relate better. I'm gonna, like, that's me starting off small. And because there's a whole bunch of problems in my own community that needs addressing first, and no one but a black person and, like, just black people in general can really, because we can't expect anyone outside of us to help us if we can't help ourselves first. And that holds true for just, like, life in general. Like, you can't expect anyone to help you if you don't help yourself first. And there's a whole bunch of issues that needs to be addressed before any major change can be made. But that's not to say that that's the only issues that are going on, but that's going to be like personally my main focus. Just like I hope every other community can, like, address their own issues, because it's the quickest we address the issues that, like, the issue underline, like, our smaller communities, then we'll be able to come together as one. But because of these issues, there's, like, a lot of rough edges that need to be, like, smoothed out. Communication's not done properly, and just the way our cultures are set up, it's like this is really hard to see eye to eye at times, and that's the issue. So education, which leads to action, which leads to change, but not just any change, but positive change. Change that actually helps us come together as one people, not just change just for the sake of change. That's always been my major gripe. Is like, we want change, but just not change for the sake of changing. We actually want a plan because we work better as a society. We're not trying to move backwards. We're trying to move forward. We can only do that by keep innovating together, because we did most of our best work together, either in competition, healthy competition at that, not actively dragging each other down. And I'm gonna be starting something new on the channel as well. I'm gonna call it weekly, like, song of the week. And the song for this week is going to be, it's called No Cable by IDK. And for each different song that I play, it's going to be like at most probably 15-20 second snippet of it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and you go and hear the song yourselves. All these songs most likely on my playlist, and I'm trying to put y'all on new music. But this one relates to what we're talking about here, so I'm gonna just be quiet real quick so y'all can hear it.
You got one in mind? Yeah.
So I hope y'all liked it. I really hope y'all like it, cause it's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorite artists. He needs to blow up. But I mean, hopefully y'all were able to take away something from this video, because I enjoyed making it, and I'm definitely gonna be making more if y'all enjoy it. And this week I'm gonna have something that's a little more mellow and casual. And stay tuned for that, because y'all enjoy it again, because it's gonna be new games and all that coming out. This is one of the new ones. We're gonna get Bloodborne and ESO maybe. So hope y'all have a good week, and check y'all later. Peace.